Recently, the question I'm getting all the time on Twitch is what hero should I be playing to rank up? And the cop-out answer is always play the meta, but that's kind of boring. So here's an in-depth look at 2 heroes for every role that make up the 6 most overpowered heroes to play in the current meta of Marvel Rivals. And I encourage you to watch all the way through, so hopefully I can convince you to pick up another character or role, or at least give you insight into who to play when you have to fill. Now let's all be honest here, everybody thought Hawkeye was going to be #1 on this list. But if you have the aim and experience needed to make Hawkeye overpowered, you don't really need this video for me to tell you to play him. In Season 1, 1.5, and 2, there's one person that's remained constant the entire time. Storm has boasted the highest win rate in the game that entire time, because she is the Magneto of the Duelist world. She's a glue character that fits in every comp and works against every team comp. Now she is a flyer, so naturally she's going to be strong against divers, and we are in a flyer meta right now, so she kind of fits well in all the team comps that are coming up. But even without that, she one has an aura that gives movement speed to allies and slows enemies that are inside of it, or 2, gives yourself a 25% damage boost and your allies a 12% damage boost, and damages enemies in the area, making her giga strong to kill divers, not just stay alive against them. The passive team buff she gives means she doesn't necessarily need to be carrying to have a huge impact. Just giving your entire team a 12% damage boost is for sure good enough, and the 20% movement speed is nothing to sneeze at either. Her secondary fire is a decent finisher and picks up a lot more kills than 80 damage sounds like it would, but on top of all of that, her ult is where she really starts to shine. Storm's ult is a 5-second duration, 8-meter area of effect hurricane that deals 150 hit points a second, and it gives her a 450 bonus hit points at the beginning of it, which is kinda crazy strong. But the speed at which she charges it is really what makes it so strong. If you haven't seen the video of Sinatra charging the Storm ult in like 4 seconds, it'll kinda change your entire mind on the character. Storm's ult really is just an ability that the enemy team has to save a support ult for, which are the most useful in the game. But it also charges way faster than support ults do, which gives your team the tempo advantage on repeat over and over throughout the game. She just does a little bit too much of everything, and she does it really well. Next, we gotta show the tanks a little bit of love, and it really was a toss-up between Captain America and Hulk before the season. But with Hulk's domination in Season 2, and the big survivability nerfs that Cap got, Hulk's probably the strongest playmaking tank in the game that boasted a whopping 53% win rate last season, which was pretty dominant. Now what makes Hulk so strong is his mobility. Hulk can go from hitting the enemy team's backline, to slapping around the tanks, to supporting his own team's backline in just a matter of seconds. Meaning if you're someone with good awareness, you can absolutely start to dominate with Hulk. And the thing that's really good about maining Hulk is the fact that there are so many little techniques and mechanics to learn that up your game, and characters with a high skill ceiling that allow you to really improve as you go are so rewarding to play, and Hulk is that character. Learning to bunny hop with Hulk allows you to save momentum off of your leaps. You can also animation cancel your transform to get back in the fight faster, and you can leap away right as you're about to fall back into Bruce form to get back to safety within your team's backline. Your smoke bomb as Bruce gives ult charge depending on how many people you hit, including yourself. Your shields as Hulk give charge towards Mega Hulk depending on how much damage the shields take before they pop. And you can grab onto walls to then leap off again to grab and pull flyers down solo. And that's really not even an extensive list. Hulk is arguably the most mechanically involved tank in the game. And if you're the type of player that's really going to put some hours into the game and learn your champion inside and out, Hulk might be the perfect hero for you to start dominating. And that's where you really see Hulk players shine. The ones that put some hours into the game inflate his win rate by a ton, but he is difficult to get into at the baseline. And of course, first up for support has to be mentioned Loki. He's been played in pro scrims and high level play constantly because he charges up his ult so fast, and support ults are the name of the game a lot of times. He does damage and actually competes with the top supports in terms of his heal output. Combine that with the fact that he's competing in damage with the true damage dealing supports like Adam, Mantis, and Jeff, and you really just have a powerhouse of support that pumps out healing and damage and can make use of the support ults that are changing the entirety of the game more often than the supports that actually have the abilities can. Aside from all of that, if that's not good enough, Loki has runes that he throws out that completely stops divers and negates all damage in the game, including Magneto ult that we're going to be seeing a lot more of this season. And the best way to use this ability is when you're in dire needs. I know it seems daunting, relying on your reaction time to drop your runes after you see the ball leave Magneto's hand or Namor actually cast his ult. But if you throw it just a second too soon, you're left with a whopping 30-second cooldown that the other team can abuse. But a 30-second cooldown, honestly, is a very small price to pay for an ability that negates every game-changing ult in the game if used properly. Loki also has one of the safest self-heals in the game because he's literally invisible while he's healing, and 20 health per second is nothing to sneeze at, making him probably one of the safer supports in the game, maybe besides Rocket. And the fact that he can teleport to any clone he has within 30 meters of him gives him some of the best non-flying mobility in the game, even though it's on a pretty long 15-second cooldown. Now, the big drawback to Loki is that his basic attacks provide splash healing, which is a benefit and a curse, meaning you're usually aiming at the feet of your teammates and the enemy so you can get healing and damage out at the same time, but flyers change that whole dynamic. It's going to be a little more difficult to get full use out of Loki's kit against flyers and with flyers on your team. Moon Knight also makes it a little difficult for you to keep clones up, and Winter Soldier is going to get infinite resets on your clone, so maybe be a little wary playing him into certain team comps if you're not comfortable with his kit entirely. Now, I might be a little biased here because I am ranked 22 on Hela, but I have to throw the best girl in this list. Hela in previous seasons has been top of the meta to the point where pro tier lists and in high level play, she was being banned out constantly. Insta-ban is where people were rating her. And I know a lot of people are hesitant to pick up Hela because she looks like she takes insane aim. And while the aim is what really sets her over the top as a character, the rest of her kit is really what makes her overpowered. Let's start by talking about Hela's secondary fire. It shoots out 4 thorns that explode after a small delay, and this, in my opinion, doesn't sound like much, but is probably one of the strongest abilities in the game, and is the most underused as well. People don't realize that 2 abilities with a health bar, like Punisher Turret and Doctor Strange Shield, whenever you can stack all 4 of those thorns on them, whenever their ability's health bar empties, all 4 of those thorns are going to explode as well, doing a guaranteed 120 damage at the exact same time, at the point where the other hero is also most vulnerable. If you and one other person are focusing the Punisher whenever his turret's up, as soon as his turret goes down, he has a small little delay where he can't move around. He's instantly taking 120 damage. You hit one shot and the Hawkeye hits another shot, the Punisher's dead, and it's the freest kill you get all the time. But we can take it even further. Hela is a little bit weaker against divers. She's kind of a well-rounded hero. She works well in and against almost every comp, but diver is where she struggles the most. And divers are kind of falling out of the meta a little bit. We're getting more into a flyer meta, which is what Hela is really good against. So she's kind of a meta breaker hero now. And crowd control is also really hard to come by in Marvel Rivals. Very few abilities have it, so her stun is insanely valuable as well. Especially against characters like Hulk, like we talked about earlier, that have to charge up their escape. Once Hulk jumps into your backline, you want to try and guess when his jump is going to be fully charged again. So that way you throw your stun out and stun him right before he leaps, which resets the entire charge of his leap, making him have to recharge it up all the way, giving you way more time to actually get the kill on him. This is kind of the bread and butter for killing Hulks whenever you play Hela. You don't have to play the off angles. You can sit in your backline whenever Hulk dives in. He's kind of a free kill at that point. And that's not to mention that her ult is one of, if not the strongest in the game. The enemy team has to save a support ult to counter it. And it also forces the entire enemy team to focus it and shoot it down as well. So you're using all of those resources just to get rid of one ult. Hela's really just a character that applies pressure. If you don't have insane aim, it's totally fine to just sit behind your tanks, stay near your healers, and use the utility of your kit to make sure the entirety of the team fight goes well. If you have decent aim, you can start to play top side, looking for aim duels, but stay in line of your healers so you can get bailed out whenever you need to, but still look for those double headshots. And whenever you have insane aim, you're confident, you think you're better than the other team, or you really just need to make something happen, that's when you can go for those long flanks, push a little deeper, try to get behind the enemy team, and 2 headshots is all you need. So they have to take advantage of it, push you out of your area, and that leaves them weak on the front side. So Hela just applies pressure no matter what stage of the game you're really in. And I know a lot of people are excited about this one, and I am too. Magneto is back, baby. He did see a small drop in pick rate in Season 2 because all the hype around Emma and Captain America was dominating the meta, but the small Magneto ring charge buff that he got this season makes him a lot more capable of killing those backline targets over and over and over again. He gets a lot more tries at it. But all Magneto's hype aside, You should think of Magneto kind of as glue. He works in and against every team comp in the game, kind of like Storm does for the Duelists. Against dive comps, Magneto has a knockback, which pretty much guarantees he's then going to land his next auto attack, chunking the diver very consistently, and he also has a shield he can place on himself and on his ally that absorbs up to 300 damage, so anyone within 20 meters of you is virtually free from damage for 2.5 seconds. Against poke comps, which are going to be extremely popular this season with the flyer meta coming around, Magneto has the range and damage to force them out of their power angles with a whopping 25 meter range, which is rare for tanks. Combine that with his massive metallic curtain that blocks all projectiles for the entire duration he wants to have it up. And against front to back team comps that want to sit behind their tanks and focus solely on burning your front line down, Magneto routinely looks straight past the enemy tanks and gets picks on the backline with his range. Magneto is an S tier pick that is always useful and has one of the best ults in the game, absolutely shuts down a lot of people including Punisher, who if the other team's playing Magneto, you just never use your ult until after Magneto does. It makes your ability useless and you're a free kill. And let's be honest, an OP Heroes video would be disingenuous without Luna Snow on it. I understand Rocket will always have an insane win rate in solo queue because he's hard to kill, and if the other team doesn't shoot your ult, it is the best ult in the game in that scenario. But Luna Snow's ult lasts for 12 seconds. That's 12 seconds, basically a full invulnerability for your entire team if the other team isn't playing Magneto, and the amount of combos you can do with your ultimate leading to Venom and Namor one-shots, for example, completely change the outcome of the game. Combine Luna with a Loki then, and that gives you a full 24 seconds of immunity, which leads to absolutely free wins and domination specifically, and is actually the exact team comp you'll be seeing pros play on domination anytime that you catch a scrim live. But aside from her ult, the rest of Luna's kit is just as good. For the entirety of Season 2, Luna had the highest healing per 10 minutes in the entire game, and in 2.5 that healing got buffed for some reason, so that differential is only going to get wider. Luna also has a snowflake she can put on a teammate and heal them anytime she heals anyone else on the team, which means she doesn't have to worry nearly as much about her flyers or flankers running off and dying in their 1v1s, which is worth picking by itself. Just drop your snowflake on your Psylocke and you don't have to worry about her throwing the whole game. And she has a snowball that freezes enemies for a significant duration and is basically a death sentence if you manage to hit a diver with it. All of that, combined with the movement speed ramping and jump height she gets when moving, makes Luna just feel like an always useful hero. She's another one of those glue characters. And being able to get back into the fight as a strategist is insanely useful. You'll stop your team from chain throwing a lot of times just because you have that move speed to get back to them and stop them from doing stupid stuff. And if you made it this far, you're a real one. Make sure to like, subscribe, and drop me a comment so the algorithm will bless me. Follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you very soon. Peace out.